Hi, this is Satish and you're watching CBC News. Top stories at this moment are: thousands line streets to hail Guinea coup leader. Bethlehem pilgrims mark Christmas. Gaza strike dims truce hopes. Former cop suspected in roadway shootings dies. News in detail. Thousands of people have lined the streets of Guinea's capital to greet the newly announced leader of this week's military coup. Captain Moussa Dadis Camara waved at the crowds Wednesday in a convoy of several hundred pro-group soldiers paraded through the streets of Conakry. The crowd cheered him on, chanting, "Long live the new leader." In a radio address earlier, Camara said he will lead a 32-member interim administration called the National Council for Democracy and Development, CNDD, which will include 6 civilians. He said soldiers have no plans to remain in power, adding that elections will be held by the end of 2010. Soldiers declared a nighttime curfew but later delayed it until Friday, saying they wanted to allow Christians to celebrate the Christmas holiday. The unrest follows the death of Guinea's longtime president Lansana Conté on Monday. The Prime Minister, Army Chief and Speaker of the National Assembly have asserted that the civilian government is still in power. However, a journalist in Conakry tells VOA's French to Africa service that no one has tried to stop the paraded soldiers. In Washington, Wednesday, U.S. State Department Deputy Spokesman Robert Wood called for the restoration of civilian democratic and constitutional rule in Guinea. He said the United States is examining its options, such as cutting off aid to the country. The African Union Peace and Security Council also condemned the coup during an emergency meeting on the Guinea situation. Zambia's ambassador Patrick Sininzia, who holds the council's rotating chairmanship, expressed concern that recent events in Mauritania and now in Guinea could signal a return to the era of seizing power by force in Africa. Coming to Bethlehem news, Bethlehem pilgrims mark Christmas. They include about 200 Christians from the Hamas-controlled Gaza Strip, whom Israel granted permission to make the journey to Bethlehem. Pope Benedict XVI has been leading the traditional celebration of Midnight Mass at the Vatican. Most of the world's 2.1 billion Christians mark Christmas this week. Others, chiefly from among the 200 million Orthodox Christians who use the Julian calendar for their feast days, celebrate the Nativity on 7th January. Across the world, believers are attending Christmas church services, and in some countries, families gather for a traditional festive dinner at midnight on Christmas Eve. Visitors numbered this year to Bethlehem, traditionally regarded as Christ's birthplace, have been more than double the number in 2007 and their highest since 2000. Extra Palestinian security personnel have been sent to Bethlehem from the West Bank towns of Ramallah and Jericho to safeguard visitors. Correspondent in the town met elated pilgrims gathering around nightfall outside the Church of the Nativity, considering the traditional birthplace of Jesus. Speaking to our correspondent, Stefano Croce, an Italian fashion photographer, quoted, "Bethlehem is like the source and the soul of the universe." Wishing all a very happy Christmas. Coming up next in CBC News, women survives 3 days in snow. Bush wants pardon re-examined. Obama picks Bible, but what verse? Keep watching CBC News. This is Satish. See you after a short break.